Good Monday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios with your Talking Live forecast update here on your January the 26th, 2026. Well, I hope you enjoy cold weather because we sure got a ton of it to talk about and a kind of an interesting situation to kind of watch for this upcoming weekend, at least over toward Georgia and heading over toward the Carolinas. We're going to talk about that in more detail here in just a second. Now, before we get into this full report, if you're new here to the Talking Live broadcast channel Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates. Well, definitely the story continues to be the very cold weather outside, very frigid. There have been even some snow flurries across the air, across parts of Alabama, Tennessee, North Georgia here, as that cold air advection kind of moved on in here. Had some spotty black ice, but not really overly bad across the area, but it looks like we're in store for a fairly dry week ahead. And then the other part of our weather story is the very cold weather coming up this weekend. If you think it's cold now, boy, we could be talking about some very, very cold temperatures here going into this weekend. All right, now looking at our current view there in Lake Chattooga as well. Hey, looking beautiful out there, but notice that wind. That's definitely adding a bit of wind chill out there. Wind chill's down into the single digits and teens, and that's going to continue here going in toward tonight. Now, the good news is all the watches and warnings, they are now history out of here. Of course, you got those freeze warnings down there in South Georgia and down into Florida where they're not really liking all that too much, but they're going to stay very frigid down that way. Local radar, not looking bad out there for right now. I do have the power outage map up there for right now, so you can kind of look at what's going on here. Tennessee, for example, still tracking some 238,000 people without power. North Georgia is tracking 26,000, most of those up there across northeast Georgia. But the numbers are starting to shrink. This is going to take them a little while. And, of course, with it being so cold and frigid, you definitely want to get that power back on as quickly as possible. Now, let's go take a look at that regional satellite picture. Again, we just had a few clouds across the area here, basically from some of that cold air advection across Tennessee. Georgia's seen a lot of sunshine in the area. And looking at the regional radar here, again, it's just a frigid day here in the early afternoon, teens and 20s here. Again, most people will not get above freezing here for today. The good news for tomorrow, we're going to modify a little bit, but temperatures are still going to be running below where they're supposed to be for this time of year. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the model data. We're going to first take a look at the latest NAM. This is our intermediate model here as we're just tracking the very cold conditions. Now, when you see this blue line, which is right down here, when you see it this far south, you know it's cold. That means the column of air is very, very cold for all the way from about 5,000 feet all the way up. So that's also the line we typically use to kind of track where snow is going to fall. All right. Now, as we go through here, it basically stays pretty cold. You notice that blue line comes up a little bit, so not quite as cold, and then it kind of sinks back down again a little bit, but does modify a little bit. So we're going to have temperatures that won't be quite as frigid, maybe getting into the 40s for some folks. But again, this is temporary because the bigger cold that we might be looking at this weekend is coming in as we go toward Friday and Saturday. So we're going to be taking a look at the latest European model here from the 84 hours out, and we're going to take this all the way through. Watch what goes on here. A little disturbance slides off to the south here, and it spawns a low pressure system. You look at this right here. This is a piece of the polar vortex. This is 504 on the height meter. That is basically below zero. A very cold pocket of air there coming on down. And it is spawning an area of low pressure, and it's setting off snows there across portions of Tennessee, North Carolina, the coast. It does not quite get quite into East Tennessee. Again, if the trajectory on this thing was to change a little bit, say if it was to shift a little bit further to the west, then we would have greater concern. But this thing looks like it's going to spawn a low, and it's going to bomb out off the coast here and bringing some pretty good snows across the Carolinas and going out. But in its wake, we're going to have some very cold, frigid temperatures here going into the weekend, where we potentially could see temperatures getting down to below zero and low single digits. All right, that's what's potentially in the cards here as this moves on out. So very frigid temperatures here going into next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast map. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as we look at this from our friends from the National Weather Service here. Again, we got a few days to watch to see if that low is going to actually develop or not. So as we go forward here, going in towards your Tuesday, again, looking pretty good. Very, very cold once again in the morning. The wind should subside just a little bit, but there might still be a little bit of a wind chill out there. And as we go in toward Wednesday, got a little weak front there passing on through the area on Wednesday. Going into Thursday, just plain old cold Arctic high pressure still coming into Thursday. Then we'll see what happens on Friday. on whether we get that development of that low or not. You kind of see that kind of swinging off the coast there, and we'll see what happens with that. But a big old Arctic high pulls in here. This thing is very, very cold coming in across the area. We'll have the windy conditions. Again, you see the isobars packed in there, so a bit of a breeze coming in out of the north. Very cold on Saturday, and Saturday morning and Sunday morning could be quite chilly. In fact, the European was kind of hinting that with lows getting down very low, and with the wind, a widespread area seeing below zero wind chills. I mean, really low, like 10, 15 below wind chills. I mean, so something we definitely have to track this week. And then looks like we'll see just quiet weather going early next week. But overall, pattern stays dry, but it is very bitterly cold out there. So please dress accordingly. Check on the elderly. Don't leave the pets out in this stuff, and just get ready for it. So tomorrow morning, we're seeing one of our coldest mornings here so far this season. Chattanooga looking at 8 degrees. Again, we got sleet, we got snow to our north, we got calm winds. We got all the ingredients come together for a very cold night across the area. Check these out. We got a lot of single digits out here all across East Tennessee. 4, 7, 8, 10 there in Dalton, 5 in Blue Ridge. We're looking at very nippy weather. The winds across East Tennessee should die down. North Georgia may linger a little bit, so the wind chills may be up a little bit over there. Looking at your daytime highs, they do recover, so not quite as bad as today. Upper 30s to around 40, but keep in mind the normal high is supposed to be in the lower 50s, so we're definitely still running on the cold side. Looking at our regional temperatures for tomorrow, again, everybody kind of recovering a little bit. 40 there in Asheville, 40 in Birmingham, looking at 32 in Memphis, 49 in Mobile, 44 in Columbus, so everybody looking very nippy indeed. And the next 7 days, here we go. Looking at a very cold pattern here. Now, I will say this, again, I got a few clouds there on Friday, just kind of seeing what happens with that coastal low, and I got 21 and 10. We may go through an extended period Friday and not come back above freezing until Monday. That's how cold we're looking at here. So, and those lows may not be cold enough. We'll see. But as you can see for the next 7 days, no real threats of rain or snow for that matter. What a waste of good cold air. And definitely going to be quite bitterly cold. So those heating bills, needless to say, for next month are not going to be pretty, because it's going to be very cold across the area. So again, y'all just track this with me all this week, and make sure you stay up on the latest developments of this winter, which is turning out to be a pretty cold one here for us across the South. All right. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out here on the Talking Live broadcast channel, Facebook page. Please give us a follow. And over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. And very important, hit that notification bell so you're alerted on future weather updates. That's it for now. Y'all take it easy. Be good. Stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.